Hello there, Seraphim17 once again, introducing you to my Syndicate hard difficulty CEO rank video walkthrough. This is the second milestone, and it is the assault on Aspari. So you and Merritt are going to be assaulting this lovely looking Syndicate headquarters, and we're going to be getting introduced to the simple mechanics of the game. Because on the first level, you didn't have any of the breach abilities really, you just had the functions of the dart overlay and the weapons at your disposal. So this is the first time you get to use the suicide application. And suicide never works like this after this moment, because the enemies will generally pull a grenade and then they'll kill themselves that way. And by doing this, it will blow up their buddies along with them. But for the intents and purposes of this little cutscene here, he needs to smash the glass for you, so thus he uses a gun instead. But once you've done that, you will not fight any dudes for the first few minutes of this video, because you're trying to sneak into the right area, and it's just a little bit of light traversal before you get there. This data transfer stuff, I'm not entirely sure what it does aside from just being intel. I assumed at first it was either working towards a collectible or it was going to give you adrenaline, but I don't think it does. So you don't have to pick it up. I'm just one of those OCD type people that when I see something that I can interact with, I generally like to interact with it. But this is the first combat room, and it starts off with a couple soldiers, and you'll notice I'm just using the dart overlay to get as much armor as I can, and I'm running in and executing them. One thing to bear in mind as far as the CEO rank is concerned, I do not think the executions really do much for your CEO rank. I know that you'll probably get adrenaline for them, as you can see there. I don't know how much it is, but there's no bonus at the end for executions, and I thought that was kind of weak. You actually get more for headshots than you do an execution, so if you were really trying to farm as many points as you wanted, or if you're struggling on a level, try to make sure you either headshot people, you either use the breach technique, or something along those lines, because that's where you get the real bonuses from at the end. The assassinations will save you ammo and they look cool, but I don't think that they're the right way to play, even though I'm definitely going to recommend that you do that. Because, as I've mentioned on the first video, it is not hard to get the CEO ranks. There are only 2 levels which will even remotely test your patience and your ability to try and actually score. All the rest of them are all simple, it's par for the course, and you should have no issue whatsoever. But bit of a Metal Gear Solid moment in the vents. You're going to drop down here, and then this is the dude where we're going to get our first upgrade chip from. And I don't really get this guy, because his forehead is like titanium. You've got to shoot him about 4 times in the head for him to flop over. But once you do, you can stab him with your PlayStation Move, and you can get your lovely upgrade chip. And this is a moment that I've never really understood, because those wires really do not go the most efficient path to get that chip. They kind of like spread out, all Ursula style. It's craziness. But there's your lovely little close-up of the chip, and this is the upgrade system. So I mentioned on the first video that there are upgrades that you should probably buy to make the game easier. I will not be buying those upgrades. I'm going to be focusing on having as much time in the dart overlay and dealing as much damage as I can. It's all preference, people. If you don't want to go my path, do not go my path. It's that simple. But once that's done, the action kind of kicks up a little bit now, because they know that they've got intruders and they're going to send a couple more soldiers our way. So the checkpoint triggers in the corner, and we move back into this room where there's a couple of these guys waiting for us. Cool thing about this is you'll notice to the left and the right there are blue icons signifying that I can use the breach ability. Also, a turret drops down. Make sure you breach that, because it'll just make it a lot easier for you. And this is the first opportunity to farm breaches. And what I mean by this is, these machines on this wall, you can keep on doing these breach points to them. And think of the breaches as like active reloads. You want to stop the bar in the white spot, and each individual breach has a different timing to do it. And these ones are pretty simple. So if you stay here for a while, you can keep doing this, and you'll notice at the bottom of the screen, I'll keep getting points for it. And it'll keep boosting up my rank. You don't have to do it, but at the end you'll get a bonus for the amount of perfect breaches that you do. So if you're, for whatever reason, low on points and you need to make some up, spend a little longer in this room. Sacrifice a bit of your bonus for time by getting perfect breaches. As I've mentioned, you shouldn't need to do this, but it's available to you should you choose to. So, move into that room, grab the gauze rifle, and you're going to be facing your first environmental puzzle, which, once you've blown the lock off the door, you need to break the glass and then shoot the lock off that door. And when I first played the game, I had no idea that you had to do this, so on my recording run, I couldn't figure out how to open the door, because I must have just got lucky. It was kind of funny, actually. But this is an interesting weapon, this. Think of it as a bullseye from Resistance, where once you tag a dude, the bullets will follow him and find him. And it's probably a really cool gun to use, but if I'm completely honest, I don't like it at all. Anything that takes the aim away is a gun I don't want to use, and it's one of those tools where I will always drop it for another gun if I can, because it's just not my kind of thing. But this section here, you're going to get rushed by a bunch of the armoured soldiers. So this is the first real challenge of the level, because your life is not as high as it can be, and these guys will kill you really quickly if they get close. So you want to just use your dart mode to see where they are through the wall, and then pop out and pick them off. And I'm using the TAR because this is one of my favourite assault rifles on the game. If I could criticise it in any way, it's because you can't choose between red dot and iron sights, because I really like the iron sights. But just pick dudes up and just be a little cautious as you move through, because the spawn in this room's kind of weird. They actually drop off the balcony, and if you do this wrong, you can sometimes get swarmed by them. But you're going to see me in a moment. I push through to the opposite side of this area, and I end up getting beneath the spawn point, and it works in my favour. So it's an interesting little technique for you to try if you want to do that. So it looks clear. I move up here, there's that guy there, he gets executed, and then I turn around because I hear somebody land, or I hear somebody moving, and when I use the dart mode, lo and behold, there's a dude there, and if you look up, there's another dude jumping over the railing, and that is where these enemies spawn from. So I'm actually spawn killing them now, which in a multiplayer game is either looked down upon or seen as, you know, a masterclass, but in a single player game, just do whatever you can to get the best advantage. Once it's gone quiet, the level's practically over. We just need to move outside now. And this section coming up is the best area in the game to get the 5 rampage streak, because these guys are all lined up for you, and all you need to do is go into dart overlay with your best weapon, and it will come to you with ease. But I can't actually remember where I got my bonus. All I know is that I did it without realising, and I never had a problem with it. But this is the section where you're introduced to the UAV drone, and you can't directly shoot the drone until you've removed his shield, because he has liquid armor. So as soon as you've breached his shield, feel free to fire at him. He'll die very quickly, and then all that needs to be done now is clear out this next courtyard. But I'm anticipating the spawn right there, because I know enemies are coming, but I wasn't quite sure the timing. And lo and behold, they all jog past, and then I can pick them off from a distance from the safety of this piece of cover. And this gun is fantastic, man. It's really accurate, it's powerful, and it's fun to use because it sounds good. It doesn't have too much recoil. It's the workhorse of the game. If it wasn't for the ACR, I probably would use this gun throughout everything, because it's just such a useful piece of kit. But clear the enemies. As soon as you've got an opening to move, just push out onto the catwalk to the left, and it will trigger a cutscene, and then you can run back to this elevator that you can see on the screen right now, and you'll have beaten the second level. So here's the cutscene as the dropship gets shot to shit, starts flying around. Not what you want to see from your evac, but then again, this wouldn't be a dramatic game if it didn't have moments like that. Or QuickTime events. We're often reminded that QuickTime events are never going away. But run over here, drop down the line, and that is the end of Assault on Aspari. So let's have a see how we did. So the CEO rank on this level is another easy one, so you shouldn't struggle with it. And the value that you have to hit, the ballpark of the score, should I say, is in and around 354,000. If you can get anywhere close to that, I believe you should have this easily. I think it's Generally about 300,000 points you need for the CEO rank, but thanks for watching guys, and you take care now.